A Mercedes S-Class, midnight blue with custom leather interior worth more than most annual salaries, rounds a curve too fast. The driver, a woman in her early 30s wearing a tailored suit that costs $3,000, grips the steering wheel with white knuckles. Victoria Sterling's face is pale, not from fear of the rain, from the realization that her brake pedal has gone to the floor. The car hydroplanes. She pumps the brakes. Nothing. The vehicle skids sideways, tires screaming against wet asphalt, and launches through a guardrail that offers no more resistance than tissue paper. Time stretches. The Mercedes hangs in the air for what feels like forever. Then gravity remembers its job. The car tumbles down a 40-foot embankment, metal shrieking, glass shattering, airbags deploying with gunshot cracks. It comes to rest upside down at the bottom of the ravine, driver's side crumpled against an oak tree that has stood in this spot for 80 years. Steam rises from the crushed engine block. Then something worse. Orange flames begin to lick at the undercarriage, small at first, then growing with terrible purpose. Inside the inverted cabin, Victoria hangs unconscious from her seatbelt. Blood runs from a gash above her left eyebrow, pooling on the roof beneath her head. Her designer handbag has spilled its contents across the interior. Phone, lipstick, keys, a leather portfolio embossed with the Sterling Institute logo. The fire spreads. A figure appears at the top of the embankment. A man in jeans and a dark hoodie returning home from his second shift job. He sees the overturned car, sees the flames. For exactly 2 seconds he stands frozen. Then Marcus Thompson is running. He slides down the muddy slope with the controlled chaos of someone who has navigated worse terrain under enemy fire. His boots find purchase where ordinary shoes would slip. His movements are efficient, trained, automatic. He reaches the car, drops to his knees, peers through the shattered window. "MARCUS, ma'am, can you hear me?" No response. He assesses with the speed of someone who has performed triage under mortar fire. Head wound, bleeding but not arterial. Breathing shallow but present. Pupils unequal. Concussion, possibly worse. The flames are 3 feet from the gas tank now. Marcus tries the door. Jammed. He looks around, spots a rock the size of a softball, uses it to clear the remaining glass from the window frame. Reaches in. Feels for the seatbelt release. His hands work with surgical precision. Click. The belt releases. Victoria's unconscious body starts to fall. Marcus catches her, supporting her weight with one arm while using the other to maneuver her through the window opening. "MARCUS, counting under his breath, 60 seconds. He pulls her free of the vehicle, checks her airway, tilts her head to prevent aspiration if she vomits. His fingers find her carotid pulse. Thready but present. He lifts her in a fireman's carry, the movement so smooth it looks choreographed. "MARCUS, 45 seconds. He climbs the embankment, boots digging into mud, one hand steadying Victoria's unconscious form, the other grabbing exposed roots for leverage. At the top, he lays her on the shoulder of the road, positioning her in the recovery position. Then he looks back down at the car. The flames have reached the fuel line. Most men would count themselves lucky and wait for emergency services. Marcus Thompson is not most men. He slides back down the slope. "MARCUS, 30 seconds. Inside the car, Victoria's leather portfolio lies in a puddle of rainwater and motor oil. Marcus grabs it. The documents inside might be important, might be the only thing she has left after tonight. "MARCUS, 15 seconds. He turns to climb back up. His foot catches on twisted metal. He stumbles, falls to one knee, rights himself. MARCUS 10. Scrambling up the embankment, dirt under his fingernails, rain in his eyes. MARCUS 5. He reaches the top, throws himself flat, covers his head. The Mercedes S-Class explodes with a sound like the end of the world. A fireball rises into the rainy night sky, turning raindrops into diamonds for one beautiful, terrible moment. Metal fragments whistle through the air like shrapnel. Then silence, broken only by the crackle of flames and the endless rain. Marcus pushes himself up, checks on the woman, still breathing. He pulls out his phone, dials 911 with steady hands. MARCUS. Vehicle accident on Route 2, approximately 2 miles past the Concord exit. Single occupant, female, early 30s, head trauma, unconscious. Vehicle fire, fully involved. Send ambulance and fire. He stays on the line until he hears sirens in the distance. Then he looks down at the woman's face, really looks at her for the first time. Even unconscious, even covered in blood and rain, there is something striking about her. Something that suggests she is used to being in control, used to having answers. Victoria's eyes flutter open for just a moment, unfocused, confused. She sees a face above her, haloed by red and blue emergency lights just now arriving. Victoria, barely a whisper, who? MARCUS, you are safe, help is here. Her eyes close again. The ambulance pulls up. EMTs rush over with equipment and questions. Marcus steps back, giving them room to work. A police officer approaches him, notebook out. Officer, sir, were you the one who called it in? MARCUS, yes. Officer, did you see what happened? MARCUS, I was driving by, saw the car go over, pulled her out before it caught fire. Officer, that was brave. We will need a statement. Your name. Marcus looks at the ambulance. The EMTs are loading Victoria onto a stretcher, oxygen mask over her face, IV line already running. She will be okay. That is what matters. MARCUS, I need to get home. My daughter is waiting. Officer, sir, we really need. But Marcus is already walking to his car. A Honda Civic from 2008, dented and faded, parked 50 yards up the road with hazard lights blinking. He climbs in, drives away before the officer can follow. In the ambulance, as they race toward Massachusetts General Hospital, Victoria's eyes open again, clearer this time. EMT, ma'am, can you tell me your name? Victoria Sterling. EMT, do you remember what happened? Victoria, the car, the brakes failed. There was a man, he pulled me out. EMT, he saved your life, whoever he was. Victoria, where is he? EMT, gone, disappeared before we could get his name. Victoria's hand reaches up to her face, touches the oxygen mask. Her fingers are shaking. Victoria, I need to find him. I need to know who he was. But consciousness is already slipping away again, pulled down by painkillers and shock, and the bodies need to heal. Fade to black. Title card, present day, April 2019, 18 months later. MARCUS VOICOVER. She would spend 18 months searching for the man who saved her life. Hiring investigators, reviewing traffic camera footage, posting on social media, offering rewards. But sometimes the person you are looking for is standing right in front of you, and you cannot see them because you are not looking at the right place. The screen brightens. Morning sun streams through windows. We are in Victoria's penthouse office now. She stands at floor-to-ceiling glass, looking down at the city of Boston spread out below like a kingdom. MARCUS VOICOVER. Let me take you back to the beginning, before everything changed. before the truth came out, to the moment when two worlds that should never have touched were about to collide. Minute 3 to 15. Establishment. The Sterling Applied Mathematics Institute rises from its manicured grounds like a temple to human intellect. Glass and steel and stone, designed by an architect who won awards for making buildings that look like they came from the future. The main building is 8 stories of gleaming windows and clean lines. A bronze plaque near the entrance reads, "Excellence in Applied Mathematics since 1987." This is where brilliant minds come to push the boundaries of what is possible, where PhD candidates from MIT and Harvard and Stanford compete for research positions, where the annual operating budget exceeds $145 million, built on an endowment carefully managed over decades. This is also where Marcus Thompson empties trash cans. 6:15 in the morning. The sun is just beginning to paint the eastern sky in shades of orange and gold. Marcus pushes a cleaning cart through the employee entrance, his navy blue maintenance uniform freshly pressed, his work boots polished to a shine that would satisfy a drill sergeant. He is 35 years old, 6 feet tall, broad shoulders that come from carrying equipment and pushing floor buffers and doing push-ups in his living room at 5 in the morning because old habits from the Navy die hard. His face carries the kind of weathered dignity that comes from hardship endured without complaint. Behind him, holding his hand, is the reason for everything. Destiny Thompson is 8 years old. She wears a yellow sundress and sneakers that light up when she walks. Her hair is pulled back in 2 perfect French braids that Marcus spent 20 minutes on this morning, following a YouTube tutorial for the 4th time this week. In her other hand, she carries a backpack covered in planets and stars and mathematical symbols. Destiny, Dad, why do we have to be here so early? MARCUS. Because someone has to make sure this place is ready before all the smart people arrive. Destiny, you are smart people too. Marcus smiles but says nothing. They enter the main lobby. Marble floors reflect overhead lights that cost more per fixture than Marcus makes in a month. A grand staircase sweeps up to the 2nd floor. On the walls, portraits of distinguished mathematicians stare down with expressions of perpetual contemplation. At the security desk, Tom Wilson is starting his shift. 62 years old, retired Boston Police Department, working security because the pension is not quite enough. Tom, morning Marcus, morning Miss Destiny. Destiny, brightening. Good morning, Mr. Tom. Did you know there are 847 windows in this building? Tom, chuckling, I did not know that. How did you figure that out? Destiny, I counted. 21 floors times 40 windows per floor plus the lobby skylights. Tom, you are something else, young lady. Marcus signs the logbook. Tom hands him a master key card. Tom, oh, heads up. They are setting up for some big announcement today. Board meeting this morning, then an all-staff email going out this afternoon. MARCUS, the Whitmore Prize. Tom, probably. That thing is a big deal around here. $50,000 for solving math problems. Can you imagine? Marcus can imagine. $50,000 would pay off the medical debt from Sarah's final months, would stop the collection calls, would mean Destiny could have new clothes instead of thrift store finds. But he says nothing, just nods and guides his daughter toward the service elevator. They ride up to the 3rd floor in silence. The elevator is older than the building itself, kept running by Marcus's regular maintenance. It groans and wheezes but gets them where they need to go. Destiny, Dad, can I do my homework in the break room? MARCUS, of course, baby girl, what are you working on? Destiny, fractions. Miss Lopez said they are everywhere in nature. Marcus. She is right. Pizza slices, pieces of pie, time on a clock. Destiny, parts of a whole. I get it. But why do we have to make it so complicated with all the rules? Marcus. Because mathematics is about precision, about being exact. In life, close enough is sometimes okay. In math, close enough is wrong. He looks at his daughter with a mixture of pride and pain, so much like her mother. Sarah had been the same way, racing through medical textbooks, finishing her residency at the top of her class, brilliant and beautiful and gone too soon. They reach the break room. Marcus sets up Destiny at a table, spreading out her books and pencils. From his pocket, he produces a granola bar and an apple. Marcus, breakfast, and there is juice in the fridge. Destiny, you already gave me breakfast at home. Marcus, second breakfast never hurt anyone. He kisses the top of her head. She is already bent over her worksheet, pencil moving with confident precision. Marcus watches for a moment, then gets to work. The building does not clean itself. He starts on the third floor, empties trash bins in the graduate student offices, wipes down whiteboards covered in equations that look like ancient hieroglyphics, vacuums carpets, cleans windows. The work is honest and simple and gives him time to think. In one office, he pauses. The whiteboard has a partial differential equation written across it. Someone has been working on heat distribution in non-uniform materials. They have made an error in the third line. A small thing, easy to miss if you do not know what you are looking for. Marcus stares at it for a long moment. His hand reaches for the eraser. Then he stops himself. Not his place, not his job. He is the custodian, not a consultant. He moves on. 2 floors up. In the executive wing, Victoria Sterling's day is beginning in an entirely different world. Her office occupies the entire northeast corner of the top floor. Windows on 2 walls offer panoramic views of Cambridge and the Charles River beyond. The furnishings are modern and expensive. A desk made from a single slab of walnut, chairs upholstered in Italian leather. On one wall, her credentials are displayed like battle honors. Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from Stanford, PhD from MIT, postdoctoral research at Cambridge, published papers in the Annals of Mathematics and the Journal of Differential Equations. On another wall, photographs. Victoria with her father, Professor David Sterling, at her PhD graduation. Victoria shaking hands with a Nobel Prize winner at an academic conference. Victoria giving a TED Talk on applied mathematics to an audience of thousands. Missing from the photographs, anyone who looks like family beyond her father. No siblings, no mother, no husband or children, just work and achievement and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Victoria sits at her desk, already dressed in a charcoal gray suit that cost $2,500. Her dark hair is pulled back in a style that suggests efficiency over vanity. She is 32 years old but carries herself with the authority of someone a decade older. Her assistant, Emma, knocks and enters with a coffee and a tablet. Emma, good morning. Your 8 o'clock is here. The board meeting starts at 10, and you have 17 emails that need responses before noon. Victoria, not looking up from her computer, cancel the 8 o'clock. Move the board meeting to 9:30. The emails can wait. Emma, Victoria, you have canceled the last 12 breakfast meetings. People are starting to notice. Victoria, people can notice all they want. I have work to do. Emma sets the coffee down, hesitates. Emma, how are you sleeping? Victoria, that is not your concern. Emma, you are my boss, but you are also human. Everyone is worried about you. Victoria, everyone should focus on their jobs. The words come out harsher than intended. Victoria closes her eyes, takes a breath. Victoria, softer. I am fine, Emma. Really, just busy. Emma, of course. I will reschedule the meeting. After Emma leaves, Victoria opens the bottom drawer of her desk. Inside is a folder marked personal. She pulls it out, opens it for perhaps the 100th time. Inside are photographs from the accident scene, police reports, traffic camera footage, witness statements that say almost nothing useful. Dark figure, pulled her from the car, disappeared before anyone could get a name. For 18 months, this mystery has consumed her. The man who saved her life has become an obsession. She has hired 3 different private investigators. All came back empty-handed. No DNA, no fingerprints, nothing but grainy footage showing a hooded figure carrying her to safety and then vanishing into the night. Victoria touches the photograph of her rescuer's retreating form, wishes for the 1000th time that she could see his face, thank him, know who he is. She does not realize that he is 4 floors below her at this very moment, mopping the hallway outside the graduate seminar rooms. The morning continues, paths crossing but not intersecting, 2 people occupying the same building but living in completely different universes. Marcus finishes the 3rd floor, moves to the 4th. In the break room, he checks on Destiny. She has finished her fraction worksheet and moved on to reading a book about space exploration. Destiny, Dad, did you know that math is what makes rockets work? MARCUS, I did know that. Destiny and satellites and GPS, everything needs math. MARCUS, everything important does. She looks up at him with eyes that are mirror images of her mother's. Destiny, do you miss doing math, like real math? The question catches him off guard. He sits down next to her. MARCUS, what makes you think I used to do math? Destiny, because you help me with my homework and you never have to look at the answer key. And sometimes I see you looking at the boards here, the ones with all the equations, and your face gets this look. MARCUS, what kind of look? Destiny, like you are hungry but not for food. Smart girl, too smart sometimes. MARCUS, I did used to study mathematics a long time ago, but that was a different life. Destiny, why did you stop? MARCUS, because I had something more important to take care of, you. She considers this, then reaches over and hugs him. Destiny, I am glad you picked me. MARCUS, best decision I ever made, baby girl. His radio crackles. Tom's voice comes through. Tom, Marcus, we have a situation in the main lobby. Coffee machine malfunction. It is leaking everywhere. MARCUS, keying the radio, on my way. Down in the lobby, the expensive Italian espresso machine is indeed leaking. Not just leaking, pouring water across the marble floor in an expanding puddle that threatens the antique rug. Marcus assesses the situation with the same calm efficiency he brings to everything. Shuts off the water supply, traces the leak to a cracked fitting. He can fix this, but he needs parts from the maintenance room. Tom, should I call a plumber? MARCUS, no need, I can handle it. As he is mopping up the water, the elevator doors open. Victoria Sterling steps out, phone to her ear, deep in conversation about research grants and budget allocations. She does not see the wet floor warning signs. She does not see Marcus. She steps directly into the puddle. Her expensive heels, designed for boardrooms not traction, slip. She starts to fall. Marcus moves without thinking, catches her elbow, steadies her. Their eyes meet for the first time in 18 months. Victoria's breath catches. For just a second, something flickers in her memory. Strong hands, dark eyes, a voice saying, "You are safe." But the moment passes. She pulls her arm away. "Victoria, watch where you mop." "Marcus, I am sorry, ma'am, there are warning signs." Victoria, obviously not enough. She walks away, heels clicking on dry marble now, not looking back. Does not see the way Marcus watches her go. Does not see the recognition in his eyes. Tom whistles low. "Tom, that is our fearless leader, Dr. Victoria Sterling. Not exactly warm and fuzzy, is she?" "Marcus, she seems busy." Tom, busy and cold as January. Her father was different. Professor Sterling, he knew everyone's name, asked about their families. She just sees workers, not people. Marcus says nothing, returns to mopping, but something has shifted. He has been avoiding her for 18 months, working the early shift when she was never here, staying invisible. Now she has looked directly at him and did not recognize him at all. The irony is not lost on Marcus. The woman he pulled from a burning car, the woman whose life he saved, she does not see him, cannot see him, because in her world maintenance workers are invisible. The board meeting begins at 9:30 sharp. 8 members sit around a table of polished mahogany. Victoria at the head, Richard Blackwood to her right, Dr. Sarah Chen across from Richard. 5 others representing various academic institutions and funding bodies. Richard is 52. Silver hair, expensive suit, the kind of smooth charm that makes donors open their checkbooks. He has been with the Institute for 12 years. Chief Financial Officer for the last 5. If Victoria is the Institute's brain, Richard is its wallet. He is also a man with secrets. "Richard, let us begin. First item, quarterly financial report. I am pleased to announce we have exceeded revenue projections by 8.3%. Our endowment now stands at $145 million. Approving nods around the table. Victoria, expenditures. Richard, under budget by 4%. We are running a very tight ship. Dr. Chen, perhaps too tight. I have received complaints from junior researchers about equipment budgets. Richard, we must balance excellence with fiscal responsibility. Victoria, agreed. Next item, the Whitmore Prize we announced today. Richard, yes. Formal announcement goes out at 2 p.m. I expect a strong candidate pool. Last year we had 43 applicants. Victoria, I want 50 this year. This prize represents our commitment to identifying talent, to fostering the next generation of mathematical minds. She speaks with passion. This is what drives her, not the money or the prestige, but the pure pursuit of mathematical truth, finding brilliant minds and giving them the resources to do extraordinary work. Dr. Chen, speaking of talent, Victoria, I wanted to discuss expanding our outreach programs. We should be looking beyond traditional pipelines. Richard, what do you mean? Dr. Chen, I mean we recruit from the same 10 universities every year. MIT, Harvard, Stanford, Princeton. What about community colleges, military veterans, people with non-traditional backgrounds? Richard, this is an elite institution. We maintain standards. Dr. Chen, standards and snobbery are not the same thing. Tension crackles across the table. Victoria intervenes. Victoria, Sarah makes a valid point, but implementation would require resources we do not currently have allocated. Let us table this discussion for the strategic planning session next quarter. Diplomatic, non-committal, kicking the can down the road. As the meeting continues with budget discussions and publication metrics, Sarah Chen's attention drifts for a moment. Through the conference room window, she can see down into the courtyard below. A maintenance worker is emptying outdoor trash receptacles. Even from this distance, even in uniform, there is something familiar about his movements. The way he carries himself, the efficiency of his work. Sarah's breath catches. She knows those movements, trained them, mentored the mind behind them for 4 years at MIT. Marcus Thompson, her former student, the brilliant PhD candidate who disappeared 7 years ago. She keeps her expression neutral, says nothing, but her mind is racing. Why is he here? Why is he working as custodial staff? What happened after he left MIT? The meeting continues around her, but Sarah Chen is no longer fully present. She is remembering a younger Marcus, presenting research that took her breath away, solving problems with elegance that made senior faculty jealous, the student she thought would change the field. And now he is emptying trash cans. She will not expose him, will not reveal his secret to this room full of people who would judge him, pity him, or worse, try to use him. But she will watch and wait, and when the time is right, she will find out what happened to one of the brightest mathematical minds she has ever taught. The board meeting ends. Members file out. Sarah lingers looking out the window, but the courtyard is empty now. Marcus has moved on to his next task. 12:15. Lunchtime. Destiny and Marcus eat together in the break room. Sandwiches from home, turkey and cheese for her, peanut butter for him, an apple they share. Destiny, can we go to the park after you finish work? Marcus, we can. What do you want to do there? Destiny, swings, and I want to practice my fractions. Miss Lopez said understanding parts and wholes is important for everything. Marcus, she is right. Mathematics is about seeing how pieces fit together to make something bigger. Destiny, like our family, me and you. Marcus's throat tightens. Marcus, exactly like that, baby girl. They finish eating. Marcus has 30 minutes left on his lunch break. He pulls out his phone, scrolls through emails, bills, more bills, a collection notice for the hospital debt, a reminder that his car registration is due. At the bottom of his inbox, an email catches his eye. The subject line reads, announcing the WHITMORE prize. He opens it. The Sterling Applied Mathematics Institute is pleased to announce the annual Whitmore Prize competition. $50,000 and a research grant will be awarded to the individual who demonstrates the highest level of mathematical excellence. The competition is open to all members of the Sterling community, including faculty, researchers, graduate students, and staff. All members of the Sterling community. Marcus reads that line 3 times, looks at his daughter, looks at the number on the collection notice, $50,000. It would change everything. But he cannot. He is a custodian. Entering would mean exposing himself, revealing that he has the education for this, answering questions about why someone with an MIT pedigree is mopping floors. He closes the email. Destiny, what was that? Marcus, nothing important. Come on, we should get back to work. But throughout the afternoon, as he cleans and repairs and maintains, the number keeps echoing in his head. $50,000, $50,000, $50,000. At 3 p.m., Victoria makes the official announcement in the main auditorium. 200 people attend. Faculty, researchers, graduate students, administrative staff. The energy is electric. This prize represents opportunity, recognition, a launching pad for careers. Victoria stands at the podium, confident and commanding. Victoria, good afternoon. As many of you know, the Whitmore Prize has been a tradition at this institute for nearly 2 decades. It represents our commitment to excellence, to pushing the boundaries of what is mathematically possible. She clicks to the next slide. The prize details appear on the screen behind her. Victoria, this year we are offering $50,000, a 5-year research grant and publication support in a top-tier journal. The competition will consist of 3 rounds over the next 8 weeks: qualifying exam, semifinals, and finals. Problems will range from advanced undergraduate level to doctoral research level. Excited murmurs ripple through the audience. Victoria, registration opens tomorrow and closes in 2 weeks. We will announce the first round 1 week after registration closes. I encourage all of you to consider participating. This is your chance to demonstrate what makes this institute special: your brilliance, your dedication, your passion for mathematical truth. Applause fills the auditorium. Students lean forward in their seats. Professors exchange calculating glances, already mentally reviewing their brightest advisees. In the back of the room, standing by the door in case cleaning needs arise, Marcus Thompson listens. Destiny is next to him, sitting on the floor with her book. She tugs on his uniform sleeve. Destiny whispering, "Dad, you should do it." Marcus whispering back, "SHH, we are just here to observe." Destiny, but you are smart enough, smarter than them. Marcus, Destiny, it is not that simple. Destiny, why not? Because if I win, people will ask questions. Because your mother's medical bills are in collections and we are 3 months behind on rent. And if I draw attention to myself, they will see me as someone who fell from grace instead of someone doing honest work. Because I am not one of them anymore, and maybe I never really was. But he cannot say any of that to an 8-year-old. Marcus, because I have you to take care of. That is more important than any prize. She accepts this but does not look convinced, goes back to her book, but Marcus can tell she is not really reading anymore. She is thinking. The announcement ends. People file out, already forming study groups, already strategizing. Marcus begins his afternoon rounds, emptying trash bins from the auditorium, wiping down the podium, returning chairs to their proper positions. As he works, Victoria returns to retrieve her presentation materials. She sees him in his maintenance uniform. Their eyes meet for the second time that day. "Victoria, excuse me. I need to get to the podium." Marcus steps aside, says nothing. She gathers her laptop and notes, pauses. "Victoria, the floor was clean this morning. Thank you for your work." It is the first time she has acknowledged him as anything other than an obstacle. The first time she has said thank you to someone in his position. "Marcus, just doing my job, ma'am." She nods, leaves, does not see the way he watches her go, does not see the conflict written across his face. That evening, after his shift ends, Marcus and Destiny walk to their car. The Honda Civic waits in the employee lot, looking shabby next to the BMWs and Teslas that fill the visitor spaces. As Marcus unlocks the door, a poster catches his eye, taped to the employee bulletin board near the parking lot exit. Whitmore Prize. Registration opens tomorrow. All Sterling community members welcome. All members welcome. He tears the poster down, crumples it, throws it in the recycling bin, helps Destiny into her booster seat, starts the car. They drive home in silence. The radio plays soft jazz. Destiny does her homework in the back seat, occasionally asking him to check her work at red lights. Their apartment is in Dorchester, 3 rooms on the 2nd floor of a building that has seen better decades. The carpet is worn. The paint is chipped, but it is clean and Marcus has made it as warm as he can on a maintenance worker's salary. Photos of Sarah cover every flat surface. Sarah graduating medical school. Sarah holding newborn Destiny. Sarah laughing at some joke that is lost to time now. Marcus has made this place a shrine to her memory because he needs Destiny to know her mother, to understand that she came from love. They make dinner together. Spaghetti with jarred sauce, garlic bread from the frozen section, a salad that Destiny picks at but mostly ignores. Destiny, Dad, can I ask you something? Marcus, always. Destiny, why don't you do the math competition? He has been waiting for this question since the announcement. Marcus, because that world is not for people like us anymore. Destiny, why not? Marcus, because I am a maintenance worker. They are professors and researchers. It would be like a high school football player showing up to an NFL tryout. Destiny, but you went to MIT. You told me that. Marcus, I did, but I did not finish. Life had other plans. Destiny, what plans? Marcus, taking care of your mother when she got sick, taking care of you. Those were more important than any degree. Destiny is quiet for a long time. Then, Destiny, Mom would want you to try. She always said you were the smartest person she knew. The words hit like a punch to the chest. Sarah had said that many times, usually after he explained some mathematical concept or fixed something in the house or demonstrated the million small ways he tried to take care of her. Marcus, your mom saw the best in everyone. Destiny, no. She saw the truth, and the truth is you are amazing and you are hiding. 8 years old and she sees right through him. They finish dinner, do the dishes together. Marcus helps Destiny with her homework, even though she barely needs help anymore. They read together her current favorite book about a girl who becomes an astronaut. At 8:30, he tucks her into bed, kisses her forehead. Destiny, Dad. Marcus, yes, baby girl. Destiny, if you entered the competition and won, $50,000 would pay off all of Mom's hospital bills. Right. So she knows about that, of course she does. Smart girl, too smart. Marcus, it would. Destiny, and we could stay in this apartment, not have to move somewhere cheaper. Marcus, yes. Destiny, then maybe you should think about it. Not for you, for us. She rolls over, closes her eyes, pretends to sleep, but Marcus knows she is still awake, listening. He sits there for a long time, watching her breathe. This beautiful, brilliant child who deserves so much more than he can give her on a custodian's salary. Finally he stands, turns off the light, goes to his own room. On his dresser next to a photo of Sarah is the crumpled poster he pulled from the recycling bin on his way out of the building. He smoothed it out during a weak moment. Now it sits there, mocking him, tempting him. WHITMORE prize, $50,000, all community members welcome. Marcus picks up his phone, opens the registration website, stares at the form, name, affiliation, educational background. His finger hovers over the submit button. Then he closes the browser, puts the phone down, lies in bed and stares at the ceiling. Tomorrow he will go back to work, empty trash, mop floors, fix broken things, be invisible. Tomorrow he will not think about mathematics or prizes, or the life he used to have. Tomorrow he will be Marcus Thompson, maintenance worker, nothing more, nothing less. But as he finally drifts off to sleep, his last conscious thought is of the equation on the whiteboard from this morning, the error in the third line, and how easy it would be to fix. Just one line. Just one small correction. What harm could it do? Morning arrives with the inevitability of mathematics itself. Some equations have only one solution. Some choices, once made, cannot be unmade. Marcus Thompson sits at his kitchen table at 5 in the morning, coffee growing cold in front of him, staring at the registration form on his laptop screen. He has been staring for 30 minutes. His finger hovers over the submit button like a condemned man hesitating at the gallows. Behind him, Destiny appears in her pajamas, hair mussed from sleep, eyes still heavy but alert enough to see what he is doing. Destiny, you are entering. Not a question, a statement of fact. Marcus, I am thinking about it. Destiny, you have been thinking about it all night. I heard you get up at 3. He closes the laptop, turns to face her. Marcus, this could change things, make life harder. People will ask questions. Destiny, people always ask questions. That does not mean we have to be afraid of answers. 8 years old, and already wiser than he deserves. Marcus opens the laptop again, types his information with fingers that have not filled out an academic form in 7 years. Name, Marcus Thompson. Affiliation, Sterling Institute Maintenance Department. Educational background. This is where it gets complicated. He could lie, write high school and hope nobody checks, but lies have a way of compounding, of growing until they crush you under their weight. Or he could tell the truth. MIT, PhD program advanced to candidacy, withdrew 2016. His cursor blinks in the empty field, waiting, patient. Mathematics does not judge, it simply is. Marcus to himself, screw it. He types the truth, all of it, then hits submit before he can change his mind. The confirmation email arrives 30 seconds later. Registration successful. Screening exam scheduled for 2 weeks from today. Location, Sterling Institute Auditorium. Time, 9 a.m. Destiny reading over his shoulder, you did it. Marcus, I did. Destiny, Mom would be proud. Marcus, Mom would think I was crazy. Destiny, Mom would think you were brave. 2 weeks pass in a blur of routine and anticipation. Marcus continues his shifts, but his mind is elsewhere. At night, after Destiny sleeps, he pulls out old textbooks, relearns concepts he has not touched in 7 years. His hands remember what his conscious mind has forgotten. The mathematics flows back like muscle memory. The qualifying exam day arrives. Marcus calls in sick to work, the first time in 2 years. Tom covers his shift without questions because good people do that. Then Marcus drives Destiny to school, kisses her goodbye, watches her disappear into the building where she is safe and known and loved. Then he drives back to Sterling Institute as something other than the custodian. The auditorium is already filling when he arrives. 45 people, mostly PhD candidates in their 20s and early 30s, designer glasses, expensive laptops, the casual arrogance of people who have never failed at anything important. Marcus wears khakis and a button-down shirt from Target, his only concession to the occasion. He looks like someone's dad at a parent-teacher conference, out of place, aware of it. He finds a seat in the back, opens his backpack. Inside, a mechanical pencil, a scientific calculator he bought used on eBay, and a notebook that cost 99 cents. The woman next to him has a tablet that probably costs more than Marcus makes in a month. At exactly 9 a.m., Victoria Sterling walks to the podium. She wears a navy suit that makes her look both powerful and unapproachable. Her eyes scan the crowd with the practiced efficiency of someone cataloging data. Those eyes pass over Marcus without recognition. Victoria, good morning. Thank you all for your interest in the Whitmore Prize. Today's screening exam consists of 5 problems. You have 4 hours. Calculators are permitted. Collaboration is not. The top 12 scorers will advance to the first round. Questions. No one raises a hand. Victoria, then let us begin. Proctors distribute exam booklets. Marcus opens his. The first problem appears before him like an old friend he has not seen in years. Problem 1. Prove that the sum of the first n odd numbers equals n squared. Around him, pencils start scratching immediately. Complex induction proofs, algebraic manipulations, pages filling with formal mathematics. Marcus stares at the problem for 2 full minutes. Then he begins to draw. Dots arranged in square patterns, 1 dot, then 1 plus 3 dots forming a 2 by 2 square, then 1 plus 3 plus 5 forming a 3 by 3 square. The pattern emerges visually, obviously, beautifully. He writes beneath his drawings. The nth odd number adds an L-shaped border to the previous square, creating a new square with side length n. Therefore, the sum equals n squared. Proof by geometric construction. Time elapsed 7 minutes. Problem 2. Find all continuous functions f such that f of x plus y equals f of x plus f of y plus 2 times x times y, with f of 0 equals 0. Marcus closes his eyes, visualizes the functional equation, tests small values. F of 1 equals 1, f of 2 equals 4, f of 3 equals 9. Pattern recognition clicks into place like a gun cocking. He writes, claim, f of x equals x squared. Proof, let g of x equal f of x minus x squared. Then g satisfies g of x plus y equals g of x plus g of y. Continuous additive functions are linear, so g of x equals cx. But g of 0 equals 0 implies c equals 0. Therefore, f of x equals x squared is the unique solution. Time elapsed 15 minutes. The third problem requires more work. Partial differential equations. Heat distribution in non-uniform materials. Marcus has not touched this material in 7 years, but his hands remember, like a pianist returning to a beloved concerto after years away. He works steadily, no hesitation, no false starts. The mathematics flows from some deep place that has been waiting patiently for permission to emerge. Around him, the room fills with the sounds of struggle, erasers working overtime, frustrated sighs, the crinkle of pages being turned back and forth as people search for approaches that elude them. Marcus finishes the 5th problem with an hour and 40 minutes remaining. He reviews his work, checks calculations, confirms logic. Everything is sound, clean, elegant in its simplicity. He could leave early, but that would draw attention. So he sits quietly, eyes closed, and for the first time in 7 years allows himself to simply exist in a room full of people doing mathematics. It feels like coming home. Victoria circulates through the auditorium, observing. She is not supposed to look at answers during the exam, but she cannot help glancing at work as she passes. Most candidates are exactly where she expects, competent, methodical, following textbook approaches. Then she reaches Marcus's seat. She pauses, stares at his paper, the visual proof for problem 1, the elegant functional analysis for problem 2, the classical approach to the PDE that bypasses all the modern machinery everyone else is using. Her eyes move to his face, sees him sitting with eyes closed, calm, centered, not the frantic energy of someone still working but the quiet confidence of someone finished. Something about him nags at her memory. She has seen him before, recently, but where? The exam ends. Papers are collected. Candidates file out, comparing notes, arguing about approaches. Marcus slips away quietly, drives to pick up Destiny from school. That evening, Victoria and two other faculty members grade the exams. Each problem scored independently. No names visible, only candidate numbers. The first 11 qualifiers emerge quickly. PhD candidates from MIT, Harvard, Yale, exactly as expected. Then they reach exam number 37. Professor Chen, this is extraordinary. Victoria looks over her shoulder at the paper Sarah is grading. Victoria, what do you have? Chen, problem 3, the PDE. This candidate used Poincaré-Bendixson theorem. Nobody teaches that anymore. It is classical analysis from the 1960s. Victoria, is it correct? Chen, perfectly correct. Actually more rigorous than the modern approaches. This person understands the geometry of the problem, not just the machinery. Sarah's hands linger on the paper. She knows this style, has seen it before, in an MIT classroom years ago, her former student, but she says nothing. His secret is his to keep or reveal. They compare scores. Exam 37 has the third highest total, should easily qualify. Victoria checks the registration list for candidate 37. Marcus Thompson, Sterling Institute Maintenance Department, educational background, MIT PhD program, withdrew 2016. The coffee cup in her hand stops halfway to her lips. Victoria, this cannot be right. Chen, what cannot be right? Victoria, candidate 37. Marcus Thompson, he works here, in maintenance. Chen takes the registration sheet. Her face remains carefully neutral, but inside her heart is racing. So he has chosen to step back into the light. About time. Chen, MIT PhD program, that is impressive. Victoria, but he is a custodian. Chen, perhaps he was a PhD candidate first and a custodian second. Life happens, Victoria. Not everyone's path is linear. The third faculty member, Professor Robert Morrison from Dartmouth, leans over. Morrison, are we really considering a janitor for this competition? Chen, we are considering someone who scored third out of 45 candidates. His job title is irrelevant. Morrison, his job title reflects his capabilities. Chen, his exam reflects his capabilities. The job title reflects his circumstances. Those are not the same thing. Victoria says nothing, stares at the name. Marcus Thompson tries to place him, then it clicks. The lobby, the coffee machine leak, the man who caught her when she slipped, the man she dismissed without a second thought. That same man just outscored 42 PhD candidates. Victoria, he qualifies. Add him to the list. Morrison, Victoria, think about optics. A custodian in a prestigious mathematics competition. Victoria, I am thinking about mathematics, which apparently he is very good at. The rules state any member of the Sterling community can compete. He is a member. He qualifies. End of discussion. The qualifier list is posted the next morning. 12 names. 11 are exactly who everyone expected. The 12th sends shockwaves through the building. By 10 a.m., it is all anyone can talk about. The janitor who qualified. Social media picks it up. Local news mentions it on the morning broadcast. By noon, the story has 3,000 shares on Twitter. Marcus hears about it from Tom. Tom, you are famous, my friend. Channel 7 wants an interview. Marcus, Please tell me you are joking. Tom, dead serious. They called the main office. Want to do a human interest piece. Custodian competes with PhD students. Heartwarming stuff. MARCUS. I am not doing interviews. Tom, smart man. Let the mathematics speak for itself. But mathematics is not the only thing speaking. In her office, Victoria pulls up Marcus's employee file. Hired February 2017. References from MIT Facilities Management. Clean background check. Emergency contact. Destiny Thompson, daughter, age 8. Single father. That explains the early shifts. She searches for more information. MIT records, but they are restricted. She would need official authorization to access someone else's academic history. There is another way. She picks up her phone, calls Sarah Chen. Victoria, Sarah, do you have a moment? Chen, of course, what do you need? Victoria, it is about Marcus Thompson. His registration says he was in MIT's PhD program. I was wondering if you knew anything about that. Long pause on the other end of the line. Too long. Chen, why are you asking? Victoria, because I want to understand who we are dealing with. A custodian with a PhD background is unusual. Chen, perhaps you should ask him directly. Victoria, I am asking you. Another pause, then. Chen, I cannot discuss former students without their permission, Victoria. That would be a violation of privacy. If you want to know about Marcus Thompson's academic history, talk to Marcus Thompson. The line goes dead. Victoria stares at her phone. Sarah knows something she is protecting. This mystery is becoming an obsession. Minute 38 to 48. Connections and THRATS. Round 1 takes place 2 weeks later. The auditorium is packed. 400 seats filled with students, faculty, curious onlookers, news cameras in the back. A live stream that already has 1,500 viewers before the event even begins. Marcus arrives 15 minutes early. Destiny is with him. She wears her favorite yellow dress and carries a sign she made at school. G.O. Dad, you rock AT Math. They find seats in the competitor section. 11 other finalists turn to look at him, some curious, some condescending, none friendly. A young woman in designer glasses, Sarah Mitchell, extends her hand. Sarah, you must be Marcus. I am Sarah, Harvard 4th-year PhD. MARCUS, nice to meet you. Sarah, I read about you online. It is really inspiring how you are doing this even though you did not finish your degree. The words are meant kindly, but they land like small cuts anyway. MARCUS, thank you. A man in his late 20s, James Park from MIT, is less diplomatic. James, loud enough for others to hear. I give him 20 minutes before he realizes he is out of his depth. Scattered laughter. Destiny's hand tightens in Marcus's. Destiny whispering, do not listen to them, Dad. MARCUS, whispering back, I am not. Victoria takes the podium. The crowd quiets. Victoria, welcome to round 1 of the Whitmore Prize. 12 competitors will be given 2 problems. 2 hours. The top 6 scorers advance to the semifinals. All work will be shown on individual whiteboards so our audience can observe the process in real time. She gestures to 12 whiteboards set up across the stage. Victoria, transparency is essential to this competition. You will work where everyone can see. This tests not only your mathematical ability but your ability to communicate clearly under pressure. The competitors take their positions. Marcus is assigned to whiteboard 11, far stage right. almost in the wings, deliberately placed where he is least visible to cameras. Victoria, your first problem. Prove that the sum of the first n odd numbers equals n squared. The same problem from the qualifying exam, but now on stage with everyone watching. Around Marcus, the other competitors launch into formal induction proofs, writing out base cases, inductive hypotheses, logical progressions that fill their boards with symbols and equations. Marcus picks up his marker, draws dots. One dot in the center, circle it, label it 1. 3 more dots arranged in an L shape around the first, label them 3. The pattern makes a 2 by 2 square. 5 more dots in a larger L, label them 5. Now a 3 by 3 square. The pattern continues. Each odd number forms the border of an expanding square. Beneath his drawings, he writes in clear, simple English. Proof by geometric construction. The nth odd number, 2n-1, forms the L-shaped border of a square with side length n-1. Adding this border creates a new square with side length n. Therefore, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus ... plus 2n-1 equals n squared. He sets down his marker. 7 minutes have elapsed. In the audience, mathematics professors lean forward. That is not how they would prove it, but it is undeniably correct. And more than correct, it is illuminating. Anyone can look at those dots and understand why the theorem is true. Sarah Chen, sitting in the judges' panel, allows herself a small smile. There is the student she remembers, making the complex simple, making mathematics sing. Victoria's expression is harder to read. Surprise, irritation, something else. Respect, maybe. Victoria, problem 2. Find all continuous functions f where f of x plus y equals f of x plus f of y plus 2xy, with f of 0 equals 0. This problem is harder. It requires functional analysis, understanding of how functions behave under composition. The other competitors fill their boards with attempts, trying different approaches, erasing, restarting. The process is messy, human, full of false starts. Marcus stares at the problem for a full 3 minutes, does not write anything, just thinks. Then his hand moves. He writes test values. F of 1 equals 1, f of 2 equals 4, f of negative 1 equals 1. The pattern emerges. F of x equals x squared. Now he proves it must be the only solution. His proof is different from what anyone else is attempting. He introduces an auxiliary function, shows it must be linear, proves the linear term must vanish. The logic is airtight, classical, elegant. Time, 23 minutes total for both problems. Sarah Mitchell finishes at 40 minutes, James Park at 50. The rest struggle past the hour mark. When time is called, the judges begin their review. All 12 competitors have correct answers for problem 1, but the approaches vary wildly in clarity. Problem 2 separates the field. 3 competitors have incorrect solutions. 4 have correct but convoluted proofs. 5 have clean, correct work. The judges confer quietly. Then Victoria returns to the microphone. Victoria, all 12 competitors advance to the semifinals in 2 weeks. Round 1 was a qualifier to ensure basic competence. Semifinals will determine our finalists. Murmurs of surprise. This was not the original plan, but Victoria is improvising. Something about this competition feels different. She wants to see where it goes. During the break, Destiny runs onto the stage to hug her father. Destiny, you were amazing. Everyone was talking about your pictures. Marcus, it is just basic geometry, baby girl. Destiny, it was beautiful. Mom would have loved it. A camera crew approaches. Local news. Reporter, Mr. Thompson, can we get a quick interview? MARCUS, I would rather not. Reporter, just a few questions. Our viewers would love to hear your story. MARCUS, there is no story, just a man solving math problems. He guides destiny away before they can press further, but the cameras follow him with their lenses, recording, broadcasting, making him visible whether he wants it or not. Across the auditorium in the VIP seating area, Richard Blackwood watches with an expression that could freeze water. He has been CFO of this institute for 12 years. He knows every budget line, every political alliance, every skeleton in every closet. And now there is a custodian on stage, outperforming PhD candidates, drawing media attention, making people ask questions. Questions are dangerous. Richard pulls out his phone, texts someone. The message is brief. Run a complete background check on Marcus Thompson. Everything. Employment history, credit report, criminal record, family debts. I need it by end of day. Across the auditorium, Sarah Chen watches Richard watching Marcus. She knows that look, has seen it before, the look of a man who sees a threat. She leans over to Victoria. Chen quietly, we should talk after the competition. Victoria, about what? Chen, about being careful, about understanding what we are dealing with here. Victoria, you mean Marcus. Chen, I mean the attention this is generating, and the people who do not want that attention. Before Victoria can respond, competitors are called back for announcements about the semi-final round. That evening, Marcus receives a text from an unknown number. Congratulations on advancing. We should talk, my office, tomorrow 4 p.m., Dr. Chen. Marcus stares at the message. His former advisor, the woman who taught him everything about classical analysis, who believed in him when he was nobody, who must have recognized his style on those qualifying exams. He texts back, I will be there. Minute 48 to 56, the revelation. The next day, Marcus knocks on Sarah Chen's office door at exactly 4 p.m. She opens it herself, which surprises him. In the academic hierarchy, full professors usually have assistants handle such things. Chen, Marcus, come in, close the door. He does. The office is smaller than he expected for someone of her stature, books everywhere, papers stacked on every surface, a whiteboard covered in equations that make his pulse quicken with recognition. Real mathematics, not for show. Chen, sit, please. He takes the chair across from her desk. She studies him for a long moment. Chen, you look good, older, tired, but good. MARCUS, Professor Chen, I. Chen, Sarah, call me Sarah. You earned that right 7 years ago. MARCUS, why did you want to see me? Chen, because I have been watching you work. The qualifying exam. Round 1. Your approach, your style, it is unmistakable. You are still the best mathematical mind I have ever taught. MARCUS, I left. I did not finish. Chen, you left for the right reasons. Your wife was dying. Your daughter needed you. Those are not failures, Marcus. Those are choices that required more courage than staying ever would have. He looks away, swallows hard. Chen, why are you working as a custodian? MARCUS, because after Sarah died I had $180,000 in medical bills and a 3-year-old to raise. MIT facilities hired me for the insurance. When that job ended, I moved here. Same work, slightly better pay. Chen, you could have come to me, I would have helped. MARCUS. I know, but I needed to do it myself, to prove I could still take care of my daughter without asking for handouts. CHEN. Pride is expensive. MARCUS. Yes, it is. Sarah pulls out a folder from her desk drawer, opens it. Inside are papers from 7 years ago, Marcus's qualifying exam results, his preliminary dissertation proposal, her recommendation letters describing him as once-in-a-generation talent. CHEN. MIT wants you back. They have always wanted you back, full funding, flexible schedule. You could finish what you started. MARCUS. That life is gone. CHEN. No, that life is waiting, you just have to choose it. MARCUS. And if I am not that person anymore, if 7 years of mopping floors has made me ordinary. CHEN. I watched you solve problems today that PhD candidates struggled with. You did it in half the time with twice the elegance. You are not ordinary, Marcus. You never were. Silence stretches between them. CHEN. There is something else you should know, something about this institute, about why I am really here. MARCUS. What do you mean? CHEN. Victoria's father, David Sterling, was investigating financial irregularities before he died. $25 million unaccounted for over 5 years. He confided in me, asked for help. Then his car went off the road. Brake failure, they said. MARCUS. You think he was murdered? CHEN. I think someone did not want him to finish his investigation, and I think that someone is still here, watching, waiting. MARCUS. Why are you telling me this? CHEN. Because you are stirring things up, drawing attention, making people nervous. Richard Blackwood, our CFO, he ran a background check on you yesterday. I saw the request come through. He is looking for leverage. MARCUS. Let him look. I have nothing to hide. CHEN. You have a daughter, medical debt, rental arrears. That is not nothing. That is vulnerability, and men like Richard exploit vulnerability. Marcus's jaw tightens. CHEN. Be careful, and if you need help, come to me. Do not try to be a hero alone. After he leaves, Marcus walks through the empty building. His mind is racing. Financial crimes, murder, cover-ups, and he has just painted a target on his own back by entering this competition. He should withdraw, should take his daughter and disappear back into the safety of invisibility. But then he thinks of Victoria Sterling, the woman whose life he saved 18 months ago. The woman who is searching for the truth about her father's death without knowing that the man who could help her is mopping her floors. Maybe invisibility is not safety. Maybe it is just another kind of prison. His phone rings, unknown number. MARCUS. Hello. Voice, Mr. Thompson. This is Richard Blackwood. I am the Chief Financial Officer here at Sterling. I was hoping we could have a conversation. MARCUS. About what? Richard, about your future and your daughters. Meet me in the north parking lot in 15 minutes. Come alone. The line goes dead. Every instinct Marcus has, every lesson learned in combat screams that this is a trap, but he cannot ignore it, cannot let a threat go unassessed. He texts Sarah Chen, meeting Blackwood, north parking lot, 15 minutes. If you don't hear from me in 30, call police. Then he goes to meet the enemy. Minute 56 to 63, the semifinals. The north parking lot is nearly empty at 5 p.m. Most staff have gone home. Only a few cars remain, scattered across the asphalt like chess pieces. Richard Blackwood leans against a black BMW. Expensive suit, practiced smile. Everything about him screams money and power and the absolute confidence that comes from never facing real consequences. Marcus, you wanted to talk. Richard, straight to the point. I appreciate that. Let me be equally direct. You are making people uncomfortable. Marcus, by solving math problems. Richard, by being where you do not belong. This institute has standards, traditions. A custodian competing against PhD candidates, it raises questions about our credibility. Marcus, the rules say any community member can compete. Richard, rules and reality are not always the same thing. You did some research on you, Mr. Thompson, Navy SEAL, MIT PhD candidate, quite impressive, also quite tragic. Your wife's death, the medical bills, the debt. Marcus's hands curl into fists. Richard notices, smiles wider. Richard, $180,000. That is a crushing burden. Collection agencies calling, threatening letters. Your daughter hearing about it. Marcus, what do you want? Richard, I want to help. $10,000. Cash. Today. All you have to do is withdraw from the competition. Tell them you realized you are in over your head. Marcus, no. Richard, think about it. $10,000 would buy you breathing room, pay down some debt, maybe keep your apartment another few months. Marcus, I said no. Richard, you are being foolish. You cannot win this. Sarah Mitchell has been training for this her entire life. James Park has published papers. You have been emptying trash cans. The gap is insurmountable. Marcus, then why are you here? The question lands like a punch. Richard's smile falters. Richard, I am offering you a dignified exit. Marcus, you are offering me a bribe. There is a difference. Richard, be smart, Mr. Thompson. This institute is very important to very powerful people. People who do not appreciate disruptions. Marcus, is that a threat? Richard, it is friendly advice. From someone who understands how the world works. Marcus steps closer. His voice drops to the quiet register he used in combat. The voice that means violence is 1 second away. Marcus, let me give you some friendly advice. I have killed men for threatening people I care about, so choose your next words very carefully. Richard's confidence cracks, just for a moment. He sees something in Marcus's eyes that reminds him this is not a custodian. This is a trained operator who knows 50 ways to kill him with bare hands. Richard, we are done here, but remember I tried to be reasonable. He gets in his BMW, drives away, leaves Marcus standing alone in the parking lot as the sun sets and the temperature drops. Sarah Chen appears from behind another car. She has been watching the entire exchange. Chen, he is more dangerous than you think. Marcus, I have dealt with dangerous men before. Chen, not like this. Richard does not fight with guns. He fights with money and lawyers and leverage. He will destroy you legally, financially, socially, and you will never see it coming. Marcus, then I will have to move faster than he expects. 2 weeks later, semifinals arrive. The competition has generated even more attention now. The live stream has 8,000 viewers. Major newspapers have sent reporters. This has become a story. Custodian versus PhD candidates. David versus Goliath. The kind of narrative that captures imaginations. Marcus wishes it had stayed quiet. The problems are brutal. 3 questions, 3 hours, doctoral-level analysis. The kind of mathematics that requires not just knowledge but creativity, insight, the ability to see patterns where others see only chaos. Marcus works steadily through problems 1 and 2. His classical approach is cut through complexity like a hot knife through butter. Where others drown in technicalities, he finds geometric intuition, visual clarity. Problem 3 stops him cold. It is Victoria's specialty, a partial differential equation with nonlinear boundary conditions. She has written about this exact type of problem in her published research. Marcus stares at it, tries modern approaches, gets nowhere, erases, tries again. The clock ticks. 2 hours pass. He has 2 problems solved. 1 remains. In the audience, Destiny watches with worried eyes. She can tell when her father is struggling. Has seen this look before, late at night when bills pile up and the math of survival does not balance. Then Marcus closes his eyes, breathes, lets his mind wander back to an MIT classroom 7 years ago. Sarah Chen teaching variational methods. The memory surfaces, a technique, old-fashioned, out of style, but possibly applicable here. He opens his eyes, starts writing. The variational formulation transforms the PDE into an optimization problem. Minimize energy. Find the configuration that requires least effort. The mathematics flows. 30 minutes. He has it. Not just a solution, but an elegant one. One that reveals why the problem has the answer it does. Time expires. Victoria collects the work herself. Her hands shake slightly as she picks up Marcus's board. She sees immediately what he has done, sees the technique she herself used in her dissertation, applied in a new way, applied better. This man is not just competent, he is brilliant. The judging takes an hour. When Victoria returns to announce results, her voice is carefully controlled. Victoria, 6 finalists advance to the championship round in 2 weeks. In alphabetical order: Sarah Mitchell, James Park, Robert Patterson, Marcus Thompson, Jennifer Wu, David Yamamoto. Marcus has advanced. Destiny screams with joy. The audience applauds. But in the VIP section, Richard Blackwood is already on his phone, making calls, activating contingencies. If bribery will not work, he has other tools, sharper tools. As the auditorium empties, Victoria catches Marcus's arm. "Victoria, we need to talk. My office, now." It is not a request. In her office, she closes the door, locks it, turns to face him with an expression he cannot read. "Victoria, who are you?" "Marcus, you know who I am. Marcus Thompson, maintenance." "Victoria, no, who are you really? Because that solution you just produced, that took me 3 years to figure out in graduate school, and you did it in 30 minutes. Marcus, I got lucky." "Victoria, do not lie to me. I have been searching for someone for 18 months. The man who saved my life, pulled me from a burning car, and today I finally figured it out." She pulls out a photograph, traffic camera footage from the accident, enhanced, cleaned up, the figure carrying her to safety. She zooms in on his forearm, where the sleeve has ridden up, revealing the edge of a tattoo. Eagle Globe Anchor. "Victoria, the police report mentioned this tattoo, Marine Corps. I have been looking for a Marine, but I should have been looking for a Navy SEAL." She shows him another photo from today's competition. His sleeve rode up when he reached for the top of the whiteboard. Same tattoo, same arm. "Victoria, it was you. You saved me, and you never said a word." Marcus says nothing, cannot deny it anymore. "Victoria, why?" "Marcus, because I did not save you for recognition. I saw someone in danger, I helped. That is all." "Victoria, that is all. You pulled me from an exploding car." "Marcus, and you are fine, so we are even." "Victoria, we are not even. I have spent 18 months trying to find you, hiring investigators, obsessing, and you have been here the entire time. MARCUS, doing my job, staying out of your way, not asking for anything. She stares at him, anger and gratitude and something else warring on her face. Victoria, I owe you my life. MARCUS, you do not owe me anything. Victoria, then let me help you with the competition, with whatever comes next, with finding out what happened to my father. That stops him. MARCUS, what about your father? Victoria, he was investigating financial crimes. 25 million stolen from this institute. Then he died. Convenient timing, do you not think? MARCUS, Sarah told you about that. Victoria, Sarah told you. What else do you know? And so they talk, for 2 hours, about her father's investigation, about Richard Blackwood, about the danger they are both in, about the final round of the competition and what comes after. By the time Marcus leaves, they have an alliance, fragile, tentative, but real. Outside in his car, Marcus starts the engine and sees an envelope on his passenger seat. He did not lock the door. Stupid mistake. Inside the envelope, a photograph. Destiny, at school, playing on the playground, taken yesterday. No note, no words. The message is clear. The photograph of Destiny sits on Marcus's kitchen table like a loaded gun. He has been staring at it for an hour. His daughter's smiling face, unaware she was being watched, photographed, threatened. It is 3 in the morning. Destiny sleeps in the next room, safe for now. But safety is an illusion when men like Richard Blackwood know where to find you. Marcus's phone buzzes. Victoria. Can't sleep either. He texts back, no. Her reply comes immediately. Come to my office. We need to plan. 20 minutes later, Marcus sits across from Victoria in her darkened office. The city lights below provide the only illumination. 2 people who should never have crossed paths, now bound together by violence and secrets. Victoria, he threatened your daughter. MARCUS, yes. Victoria, we go to the police. MARCUS, and tell them what? Someone took a picture of a child at a public playground. That is not illegal, and Richard has lawyers who would bury us in paperwork before we could blink. Victoria, then what do we do? MARCUS, we get proof, real proof, something he cannot deny or explain away. Victoria pulls out her laptop, opens the encrypted files she has been working on for months, her father's investigation, spreadsheets, bank transfers, shell companies with names like Meridian Holdings and Apex Solutions. Victoria, these files show $25 million stolen over 5 years, small amounts at first, then larger as they got bolder. MARCUS, your father discovered this. Victoria, he hired an auditor, Jonathan Wright. They worked together for 3 months documenting everything. Then my father died. 2 weeks later, Wright resigned, moved to Florida, refused to talk to me. MARCUS, he was paid off or scared off. Victoria, I found Wright's resignation letter in these files. It is dated the day before my father died, but it was not submitted until 2 weeks after. MARCUS, someone backdated it. Victoria, to make him look unreliable, to discredit his work. Marcus studies the documents with tactical focus, identifying targets, assessing threats, planning operations. MARCUS, we need the original financial records, the ones before they were altered. Where would your father have kept them? Victoria, his office. There is a safe behind the bookshelf. MARCUS, can you access it? Victoria, I have the combination, but the office is locked. Security cameras everywhere. Marcus, when do guards make rounds? Victoria, every hour on the hour. Marcus checks his watch, 3:40 a.m. Marcus, that gives us 18 minutes until the next patrol. Can you get us into the building? Victoria, I have master access, but Marcus, if we are caught. Marcus, then we make sure we are not caught. Let us go. They move through the building like ghosts. Victoria knows every camera blind spot from years of walking these halls. Marcus knows every service corridor from months of cleaning them. Together, they navigate to the executive wing without being seen. Professor Sterling's old office has been converted to storage, boxes stacked against walls, furniture covered in dust sheets, but the bookshelf remains, mahogany, floor to ceiling, filled with mathematical texts that nobody has opened in 9 months. Victoria moves to the third shelf from the bottom, pulls out a worn copy of Rudin's Real and Complex Analysis. Behind it, the safe. Her fingers work the combination. Her father's birthday, her mother's death anniversary. The year Victoria was born, click, click, click. The safe opens. Inside, a USB drive labeled Insurance, a leather folder marked Audit Findings, photographs of Victoria as a child, and a letter addressed to her in her father's handwriting. Victoria's hands shake as she reaches for the letter. Marcus, read it later, we need to move. She takes everything, closes the safe, replaces the book. They are turning to leave when they hear voices in the corridor. Security guards, early rounds. Marcus pulls Victoria into the storage closet. They press against boxes in the darkness, breathing shallow, hearts pounding. Footsteps pass. A flashlight beam sweeps under the door. Guard 1, this door should be locked. Guard 2, probably cleaning crew forgot. I will check. The doorknob turns. Marcus positions himself. If the door opens, he will have to neutralize the guard. Quietly, efficiently. Hope the man does not get hurt too badly. But the radio crackles. Dispatcher calling about a situation in the parking lot. The guards move away. Crisis averted. They wait 5 full minutes, then slip out, navigate back through service corridors, exit through the maintenance entrance where there are no cameras. In Victoria's car, parked 3 blocks away, they finally breathe. Victoria, that was too close. Marcus, close only matters in horseshoes and hand grenades. Despite the tension, she laughs, a real laugh, the first one he has heard from her. They drive to her apartment, penthouse, the kind of place Marcus could never afford in 3 lifetimes, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, art that costs more than his annual salary, a kitchen that looks like it has never been used. Victoria makes coffee. They sit at her dining table, spreading out the evidence like pieces of a puzzle. The USB drive contains spreadsheets, transaction records, emails dating back 5 years, everything chronicled with the precision of a man who knew he might not live to see justice served. The audio files are devastating. Richard's voice, clear and unmistakable, discussing how to handle the Sterling problem. Another voice, harder to identify, suggesting that brake failure would look accidental. Victoria, that second voice. I know it, but I cannot place it. Marcus plays the recording again and again. Then he hears it, a particular inflection, a way of pronouncing certain words. Marcus, it is Morrison, Robert Morrison from Dartmouth. Victoria's face goes white. Victoria, no. Robert has been on our board for 8 years. He was my father's friend. Marcus, listen again. She does, and recognition dawns like a cold sunrise. Victoria, oh God, it is him. The betrayal hits like a physical blow. Her father trusted Morrison, considered him a colleague, a friend, and Morrison helped murder him for money. Marcus gives her space to process, makes more coffee, waits. Finally, Victoria speaks. Victoria, the donor gala, Thursday night, 3 days from now, both of them will be there. Board members, faculty, major donors, 400 people, press coverage. MARCUS, you want to expose them publicly. Victoria, I want them to have nowhere to hide. If we take this to the police quietly, they will lawyer up. Evidence will disappear. Witnesses will recant. But if we do it in front of 400 people with cameras rolling, MARCUS, they cannot make that go away. Victoria, exactly. She looks at the letter from her father, has been avoiding it, finally opens the envelope with trembling fingers. The letter is handwritten, 2 pages. Victoria reads aloud, voice breaking. My dearest Victoria, if you are reading this, I am gone, and you have found what I have hidden. I was foolish, trusted people I should not have. By the time I realized the extent of the theft, it was too late. $25 million, Victoria. Stolen by people I considered friends. I was going to go public, but I wanted to protect you first. If something happens to me, please be smarter than I was. Do not trust anyone in power. The USB contains everything. Take it to the authorities. Make them pay. I love you always. Silence fills the apartment. Victoria folds the letter carefully, puts it in her pocket, over her heart. Victoria, we make them pay. MARCUS, we make them pay. Minute 70 to 78, the confrontation. Thursday arrives with the weight of inevitability. The Sterling Institute Annual Donor Gala is held in the grand ballroom of the Copley Plaza Hotel. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, tables set with china that costs more per plate than Marcus makes in a week. 400 people in evening wear, tuxedos and gowns, champagne flowing like water, the social event of the academic season. Marcus arrives in a rented tux that does not quite fit. Destiny is with Sarah Chen, safe at Sarah's house, watching movies and eating popcorn, and completely unaware that her father is about to confront murderers. Victoria wears a black gown that makes her look like a warrior queen, diamonds at her throat that belong to her mother, war paint and armor for the battle ahead. They enter separately, maintain distance, cannot appear to be working together. Richard Blackwood holds court near the bar, surrounded by admirers, telling a story that has them laughing. He catches Marcus's eye across the room, raises his glass in a mocking toast. Marcus does not react, finds a quiet corner, waits. The evening proceeds, dinner is served, speeches are made. Victoria takes the podium to thank donors for their continued support. She looks calm, poised, gives no hint of what is coming. But Marcus sees the tension in her shoulders, the way her hand grips the podium just a little too tight. After dinner, after the speeches, the moment arrives. Victoria returns to the podium, taps the microphone, the room quiets. Victoria, before we conclude this evening, I have an announcement, one that concerns the future of this institute and the integrity we claim to uphold. Confused murmurs, this is not on the program. Victoria, 9 months ago my father died in what was ruled an accident. Brake failure, tragic but explainable. I accepted this, until I found his files, his investigation, his proof that $25 million had been stolen from this institute over 5 years. The room erupts, gasps, whispers. Richard Blackwood goes pale. Victoria, my father documented everything. Shell companies, forged transfers, Money laundered through fake consulting fees. And when he got too close to the truth, someone killed him, made it look like an accident. Richard stands up. His voice carries false confidence. Richard, Victoria, you are clearly distraught. Perhaps we should discuss this privately. Victoria, no, we discuss this here, now in front of everyone. She nods to Sarah Chen, who has been standing near the AV equipment. A screen descends behind Victoria. Bank records appear, transaction histories, emails. Victoria, these documents show systematic theft, money flowing from Sterling's endowment to shell companies controlled by two men, Richard Blackwood and Robert Morrison. Morrison tries to flee, makes it 3 steps before police detectives, already positioned at the exits, block his path. Detective Martinez, nobody leaves. Richard's confidence is cracking now. He looks around for support, for allies, finds none. Every face in the room is turned toward him with shock and disgust. Richard, this is slander. I will sue. Victoria, sue me with what? The money you stole, the money you murdered my father to keep. She plays the audio recording. Richard's voice fills the ballroom. Richard's voice, handle the Sterling problem, make it look accidental. Morrison's voice, brake failure, old car, nobody will question it. The room is silent, 400 people hearing a murder plot in stereo sound. Richard's face goes from white to red to purple. He looks at the exits, all blocked, looks at Morrison, already in handcuffs. Richard, you have no right. Detective Martinez, Richard Blackwood, you are under arrest for embezzlement, conspiracy to commit murder, and the murder of Professor David Sterling. You have the right to remain silent. Richard turns to run, makes it 5 feet before Marcus steps into his path. The CFO tries to push past. Marcus does not move, just stands there, immovable as mathematics itself. Richard, get out of my way. Marcus, no. Richard swings at him, a desperate, clumsy punch. Marcus catches his wrist, twists. Richard goes to his knees. Marcus, quiet, cold. That was for threatening my daughter. Police move in. Handcuffs click. Richard and Morrison are led away in custody while cameras flash and witnesses whisper. Victoria stands at the podium, trembling, but not from fear, from relief, from the weight of 18 months falling away. The room erupts in conversation, shock, outrage, but also from some corners applause, slow at first, then building, then thunderous. Someone shouts, "Justice for Professor Sterling." The applause grows, a standing ovation that goes on for 5 full minutes. Victoria looks across the room, finds Marcus's eyes. They have done it together. Against men with money and power and lawyers, they have won. Later, after the police have left with their prisoners, after the statements have been given and the initial shock has worn off, Victoria and Marcus stand together on the hotel balcony, looking out at the city lights. Victoria, we did it. Marcus, you did it. I just stood in the way. Victoria, you did more than that. You were there when I needed someone. You were there. Marcus, I seem to make a habit of that. She smiles, takes his hand. Victoria, the finals are in 2 weeks. Are you still competing? Marcus, I do not know. This was never about the competition. It was about protecting you, about finishing what your father started. Victoria, but you have come so far, and you are brilliant, Marcus. The world should see that. Marcus, the world does not need to see anything. I know who I am. That is enough. Victoria, is it? The question hangs in the air between them, full of possibility. Minute 78 to 85, Justice and Revelation. The aftermath unfolds over the next 3 days like a mathematics proof, each piece following logically from what came before. Friday morning, Richard Blackwood and Robert Morrison are formally charged. Murder, conspiracy, embezzlement, wire fraud. The list goes on for 3 pages. Their lawyers argue for bail, argue that they are pillars of the community. Flight risks are minimal. The judge disagrees, remands them to custody pending trial. By Friday afternoon, the story has gone national. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, everyone covering the scandal. Academic murder plot exposed at gala. The kind of narrative that writes itself. But this time, the story is not about Marcus. It is about justice, about a daughter who refused to accept convenient lies, about evidence and truth and the mathematics of right and wrong. Marcus's phone rings less. The media has moved on to interviewing board members and analyzing financial records. He can breathe again. Saturday morning, Sarah Chen appears at his apartment door. She looks older than he remembers from MIT. Lines around her eyes that were not there 7 years ago, but the warmth in her smile is unchanged. CHEN, hello Marcus. MARCUS, Professor Chen. CHEN, I think after everything you can call me Sarah. He invites her in, makes coffee. They sit at his kitchen table, the same table where he registered for the competition that changed everything. Sarah, I owe you an apology. I knew you were working at Sterling. Knew you were struggling. I should have reached out, offered help. MARCUS, you gave me space. That was what I needed at the time. Sarah, was it, or were you hiding? The question lands like a gentle punch. MARCUS, maybe both. Sarah, I watched your competition performances, the visual proofs, the classical methods. You have not lost your gift, Marcus. If anything, you have refined it, distilled it to its essence. MARCUS, I had time to think, to see mathematics differently, without the pressure of publication, without the need to impress anyone. Sarah, that is a rare thing. Most mathematicians never find it. She pulls out a folder, sets it on the table. Sarah, MIT wants you back. Full PhD funding, research position, flexible schedule to accommodate destiny. Your dissertation advisor would be me, if you want it. Marcus stares at the offer letter. Everything he walked away from 7 years ago, being handed back. No questions asked. MARCUS, I do not know if I am ready. Sarah, you just outcompeted PhD candidates from every top program in the country. You exposed a murder conspiracy. You saved Victoria Sterling twice. You are ready. MARCUS, it is not about the mathematics, it is about destiny. I cannot uproot her life again. Sarah, then stay in Boston. MIT has programs where you can work remotely. Come to Cambridge for seminars and defenses, but base yourself here. Keep destiny in her school. Maintain stability. MARCUS, can I think about it? Sarah, of course, but Marcus, do not let fear of the past prevent you from building a future. After she leaves, Marcus sits with the offer letter for a long time. Destiny comes home from a playdate, sees the papers. Destiny, what is that? MARCUS, a job offer from MIT. They want me to finish my PhD. Her eyes go wide. Destiny, are we moving? MARCUS, no, I could do the work from here, keep you in your school, keep our apartment. Destiny, then why do you look worried? MARCUS, what if I fail? What if I cannot do it anymore? Destiny, Dad, you just beat PhD students at math and caught bad guys. You can do anything. Out of the mouths of babes. That evening, Marcus goes to Victoria's apartment. She answers in sweatpants and an MIT t-shirt, hair in a messy bun, no makeup. She looks younger, more real. Victoria, Marcus come in. They sit on her couch. The distance between them feels both vast and infinitesimal. Victoria, the board met today, emergency session. They asked me to stay on as CEO, full authority to restructure. Marcus, are you going to accept? Victoria, I think so. My father built this place. I owe it to him to make it what it should have been. Marcus, that sounds like the right reason. Victoria, Sarah told me MIT made you an offer. Marcus, news travels fast. Victoria, are you going to accept? Marcus, I do not know. Accepting means wanting that life back, and wanting things has not gone well for me historically. Victoria sets down her wine glass, turns to face him fully. Victoria, I spent 18 months searching for you, the man who saved my life. And when I finally found you, I discovered you had been invisible right in front of me, because I was too blind to see you. Marcus, you were not blind, you were focused on your own pain. Victoria, I was cold, isolated, afraid to let anyone in because letting people in means they can hurt you when they leave. She reaches for his hand. Victoria, but you showed me something. Excellence without arrogance, strength without cruelty, intelligence paired with kindness. You reminded me what matters. Marcus, Victoria. Victoria, I am not good at this, at being vulnerable, at asking for what I want. But I want you to take the MIT offer. I want you to finish your PhD. I want destiny to see that setbacks are not endings, and I want to be part of your life while you do it. Marcus, I am scared. Victoria, me too. Marcus, what if I fail? What if without the pressure I am just ordinary? Victoria, you pulled me from a burning car. You raised a daughter alone while drowning in debt. You stood up to murderers. You are the furthest thing from ordinary I have ever met. In answer, Marcus kisses her, soft at first, then deeper, 7 years of loneliness dissolving in warmth and connection. When they pull apart, Victoria is crying. Victoria, I did not think I could feel this way again. Marcus, neither did I. Minute 85 to 90, second chances. 6 months later. The championship round of the Whitmore Prize takes place on a brilliant October afternoon. The same auditorium where Marcus first competed, but now it is packed beyond capacity. Media from 3 states. The live stream has 30,000 viewers. This is no longer just a mathematics competition. This is a story about second chances, about dignity, about a man who proved that excellence does not require a pedigree. 3 finalists remain: Sarah Mitchell from Harvard, Marcus Thompson, and a surprise third candidate, a community college transfer student named Alina Rodriguez, who has demonstrated remarkable talent. Victoria has recused herself from judging. 3 external mathematicians sit at the judges' table, Sarah Chen among them, all of them experts, all of them fair. The final problem appears on the screen. It is extraordinarily difficult, a boundary value problem in nonlinear PDEs, the kind that requires both modern techniques and classical intuition. The 3 competitors work for 4 hours. The audience watches in hushed fascination. Sarah Mitchell uses state-of-the-art functional analysis. Her solution is technically perfect, exactly what any professor would produce. Alina Rodriguez combines numerical methods with theoretical insight. Her hybrid approach is creative and practical. Marcus uses classical variational calculus, Energy minimization, geometric intuition. His solution is not just correct, it reveals why the answer must be what it is. It makes the abstract concrete, the complicated simple. When judging concludes, Sarah Chen approaches the microphone. Chen. This was the most difficult competition in the history of this prize. All three finalists demonstrated exceptional ability, but one solution stood above the others. One mathematician showed us not just that a solution exists, but why it must exist. She pauses, makes eye contact with Marcus. Chen, the winner of the Whitmore Prize, Marcus Thompson. The auditorium explodes. Destiny runs onto the stage. Marcus catches her, lifts her up, holds her while tears stream down his face. Victoria watches from the wings, her heart so full it might burst. In his acceptance speech, Marcus is brief. Marcus. This prize means my daughter has a future. It means we keep our home. But more than that, it means second chances are real. That falling down is not the end. Thank you. Simple, honest, perfect. After the ceremony, after the photographs and interviews, Marcus finds a quiet moment with Victoria and Destiny. Destiny, Miss Victoria, are you Dad's girlfriend now? Victoria laughs. Victoria, is that okay with you? Destiny, only if you promise to come to my science fair and teach me topology. Dad says it is cool. Victoria, I promise. Destiny, then yes, it is okay. She runs off to find the cookies. Marcus and Victoria stand together, watching her go. Victoria, she is amazing. Marcus, she is her mother's daughter. Victoria, she is your daughter too. You did this. Raised her alone, kept her happy and brilliant. That is the real equation you solved. Marcus, I had help. Victoria, but you did the work. 6 months after that, Marcus stands in front of an MIT classroom. 20 graduate students watching him with attention that borders on reverence. He is explaining variational calculus with the clarity that comes from truly understanding. Marcus, nature is lazy, water flows downhill, light bends to find the fastest path. Solutions exist at energy minimums because that is where the universe wants them. He draws simple diagrams that make complex ideas obvious. After class, students linger with questions. Marcus answers each one patiently. This is what he was meant to do, not just solve mathematics, share it, make it accessible. That evening, he walks across campus to meet Victoria. She has come to Cambridge for a conference. They have dinner at a small Italian restaurant. Nothing fancy, just good food and better company. Victoria, your dissertation defense is next month. Are you ready? Marcus, I think so. The work is solid. Victoria, it is more than solid. You have revived an entire approach to PDEs that everyone thought was obsolete. Marcus, that was not the goal. Victoria, I know, which is why it matters. After dinner, they walk along the Charles River, hand in hand, comfortable silence. Victoria, I have been thinking. Marcus, about what? Victoria, about us, about destiny, about family. Marcus, and Victoria, and I want you to move in with me, both of you. My place is big enough. Destiny could have her own room. You would have space to work. We could be a family. Marcus stops walking, turns to face her. Marcus, that is a big step. Victoria, I know, but I have spent my life being cautious. It left me alone. I do not want that anymore. I want life with you, with destiny. Marcus, she would have to agree. Victoria, I already asked her. She said, and I quote, "It is about time you asked. I have been planning my room for months." Despite himself, Marcus laughs. Marcus, then yes, we will move in. We will be a family. Victoria kisses him, right there by the river, and it feels like everything finally coming together, like an equation solved, like coming home. 1 year after the competition, Marcus's dissertation defense takes place in MIT's mathematics department. Sarah Chen chairs the committee. 4 other professors ask probing questions designed to test the limits of his understanding. He answers each one, clearly, thoroughly, sometimes proving additional theorems on the spot. After 2 hours, they ask him to step outside while they deliberate. 10 minutes pass, then the door opens. "Sarah, Dr. Thompson, congratulations." Dr. Thompson, the title he walked away from 7 years ago, his again. Outside, Victoria and Destiny wait. They hear the applause, rush in. Destiny launches herself at Marcus. "Destiny, you did it. You are Dr. Dad now." Marcus, I am still just Dad. Destiny, Dr. Dad sounds cooler. That evening, they celebrate. Nothing fancy. Pizza and arcade games at Destiny's favorite place. The kind of celebration that reminds Marcus that achievement means nothing without people to share it with. His phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. "Congratulations, Dr. Thompson. I knew you would finish. Your mother would be proud." Marcus shows Victoria. She reads it twice. "Victoria, who sent that?" Marcus, I do not know, but I choose to believe she did, somehow. That night after Destiny is asleep, Marcus and Victoria sit on their balcony, looking at stars. "Victoria, do you ever think about how unlikely this is, that we found each other?" Marcus, all the time. If any one thing had been different, we would have missed each other completely. Victoria, like mathematics, infinite possible paths, but only one that led here. Marcus, the optimal solution. Victoria, the only solution that matters. In her room, Destiny is not asleep. She sits at her desk with a notebook, working on a project. She is trying to write a mathematical proof, a proof that love can be quantified, that families can form from broken pieces, that second chances are not just possible but inevitable. The mathematics may not be rigorous, but the truth is undeniable. Outside her window, the city sleeps. Inside, a family breathes. A father who found his way back, a daughter who never stopped believing, a woman who learned to open her heart. Together whole. The equation of honor has been solved, not with symbols on a board, but with choices made, with courage demonstrated, with love given freely. And the answer is simple. We are more than our worst moments, more than our job titles, more than what the world sees when it looks at us. We are the sum of our integrity, our kindness, our refusal to give up. We are, each of us, an equation waiting to be solved, and sometimes the solution is not what we expected. Not wealth, not fame, not glory. Just family, just purpose, just the quiet satisfaction of work well done and people well loved. Marcus Thompson learned this twice. Once when he left MIT to care for his dying wife. Once when he returned to prove that setbacks are not endings. The mathematics does not care about your story. It only cares if you understand. But life cares about everything. How you treat people, how you raise your children, how you stand when knocked down, how you extend grace. These are the equations that matter. And Marcus Thompson, former SEAL, former custodian, now doctor of mathematics and father and partner and teacher, has solved them all. Final voicover Marcus. People ask me what the most important equation in mathematics is. But the most important equation is simpler than any theorem. It is this: humility plus courage plus love equals a life worth living. I fell from MIT to custodian. I thought my story was over. But I learned falling is not failing, it is the start of climbing back up. And sometimes, the person who helps you climb becomes the reason you are glad you fell. Second chances are real. Excellence has no uniform. Talent does not care about your resume. And sometimes, the equation you least expect solves everything. My name is Marcus Thompson. I'm a mathematician, a father, a teacher. A man who learned that the most beautiful proofs are not written on whiteboards. They are written in the lives we build, the families we cherish, the people we become. That is the equation, that is the answer, that is the truth.